Okay, carpal tunnel, well that's a big one. Everybody talks about carpal tunnel, and of course everybody has a treatment for it, and there's some very, very good treatment videos for it, and there are a lot of therapists out there treating carpal tunnel. When we look at it, it says, therapist holds extended wrist and pushes or taps on carpal tunnel ligament while client flexes and extends fingers. Okay. So what you do is you want to start by stretching the palmar aponeurosis, and you spread the palmar aponeurosis like this, not putting a lot of pressure on the carpal tunnel area. You just spread like this. Can you get a picture of that? And that's what we do. We spread it open, make that thing open up. And I'm not getting here on the hamate and scaphoid. I'm staying away from that hamate hook and the scaphoid. I'm putting pressure right on the palmar aponeurosis above there. And that'll feel good until you start getting a little bit lower. Okay. Then you want to work the flexors, because it's the flexor tendons that come through the carpal tunnel that get swollen that usually put pressure on the transverse carpal ligament. Again, this is tenosynovitis. In other words, it's the sheath and the frictioning of the tendon on the sheath from the distorted tendon, the tendon that has become fibrosed and swollen, sticking to the sheath. Again, they swell, they come through the carpal tunnel, and they start to crowd out the median nerve. And so I like to not put extension, because they don't like extension. Why? You don't want to be putting extension. I keep the hand in neutral, but then I strip up the flexors. I just strip up all of the flexors all the way over to the golfer's elbow point and all the way over here. Remember, you got a pronator. The pronator teres runs right like this. It's a pronator. It's one of the stronger pronators. So you go right across that pronator teres too. So you go all the flexors and get them all the way down, and peel off all of the stuff, all of these flexors. Remember, you've got the ulnaris that comes up and attaches to one little funny little bone called the pisiform. Remember that flexor carpi ulnaris? It likes it only attaches to the one little bone that sticks up there. It kind of floats. That bone, you can move it around. That's how you know where the pisiform is. And then when you can locate the pisiform, you just come up distally and a little bit medially, and you can hook the hook of the hamate. And we'll show you a picture of that, what it looks like on film, what that looks like. But that's the hamate. And so you want to start frictioning the hamate after you feel like you've loosened up all of the flexor tendons. You start just frictioning right on the bone. Don't get on that near the median nerve or any of those inflamed tendons. Just right on the bone, because you're trying to expand the transverse carpal ligament. Let some space in the transverse carpal ligament. Now I come up on the scaphoid. I come up on the scaphoid and I notice the hand still in neutral. I'm not pulling it back into extension. I've got it in neutral, but I'm coming in here and going up and down because I don't want to go there. You stay out of this area right here. You come right in here and you go right up and down on that scaphoid. And you release both the attachments for the transverse carpal ligament. And that's, then you can spread it. Spread that thing a little ways, keeping the hand in neutral. Start to just pull with your fingers. Pull that thing. That also spreads the palm. As long as you don't intrude on the carpal tunnel, you're okay. That's all I do, is just come up and relieve pressure like this. So never go to carpal tunnel first. Always start proximal to distal when working in the body. Start at the trunk, the axial skeleton, and work your way out. Start in the spinal groove, because that's where all the good stuff